Hey guys, what's up? This is going to be my review of Star Wars Han Solo. This is one of the Star Wars miniseries that came out in the early printings for the Marvel Star Wars comics. This was they were doing a bunch of miniseries. I'm surprised they didn't do one for Luke. Now that I think about it, but they did one for. I guess you could say Luke already had his. He got the main Star Wars line by Jason Aaron when it started. But basically, this was part of a line of miniseries that came out. We had Princess Leia, we had Lando, we had Chewie, and we had Han, and a few other characters here and there that got minis. I got this for Christmas. Talked about this before, so I read it, and I'm going to give my thoughts on it. Right out the gate, I love this comic. Right out of the gate, I absolutely love Star Wars Han Solo. This comic is... If you were disappointed with the movie, which, no duh, you were obviously disappointed in the movie. That's kind of a no-fucking-brainer right there. Essentially, this is something to get the bad taste out of your mouth. If you watched Solo, a Star Wars story, and were like, fuck that movie. This is just hey, this is better. You're gonna like this a lot better. This is written by Marjorie Liu with artwork by Mark Brooks, and yeah. So this story. Let's talk about the story real quick. So the story is that this is set shortly after the events of New Hope. And Han right now is kind of feeling a little shaky. He's feeling his not his old self. Him and Chewie went back to being smugglers again for a little bit. And essentially what's going on is that Han isn't really taking a lot of deals. He just feels I don't trust it. It feels weird. And it's starting to affect him emotionally. And then he gets roped in by Leia to run in this thing called the Dragon Void Run, which is this where all these star pilots race across this sector of the galaxy for something, for a grand prize. And Han and Chewie go in there, but there's a catch. The reason why Han and Chewie are going to this, to do this race is because Han and Chewie are doing this because there's a mole in the rebellion. There is this unknown mole within the rebellion who is essentially, taking out other spies in the rebellion network. So Han and Chewie, on each of these planets where the race is taking place, Han and Chewie have to pick up all these, the three informants and figure out who the killer is, who is the killer. So it's a bit of a spy story. So right off the bat, also another thing I'd like to mention is that, and I didn't realize this until looking back on this comic, is that Han is aside from the Imperial troops you see and seeing Leia a few times, Han is the only human character in this comic. This entire comic has a very alien-heavy cast. This is a very alien-heavy cast. All the other racers are non-human. The other characters they run into are non-human. This is Han is really the only human character. And that really, gives more attention. I like that because it actually gives, you pay more attention to Han because now he feels really out of place. And it's kind of fun to watch him. Also, Marjorie Liu knocks out the dialogue in here. She must have... I don't know if she watched all of Han Solo's scenes on repeat, or if she's just that much of a Star Wars fan. She is that good of a writer. She is very much that good of a writer. But Marjorie Liu knows how to write Han Solo. It's insane. This is the best Han I have seen in a comic, in a Marvel, in one of the... And not to say there have been bad ones, but there are just sometimes it doesn't feel like Han. Here, it legit feels like Han Solo from beginning to end. It really does feel like Han Solo from start to finish. And I really do like that. I absolutely adore that Marjorie Liu captures Han's voice. How good of this voice? I legit can almost hear Harrison Ford say these lines. I can almost legit hear Harrison Ford speaking, and Peter Mayhew's grunts and growls from Chewbacca in here. That's how good the dialogue is. And I can hear Carrie Fisher when I'm reading Leia in here. I don't know. I think Lou is doing more Star Wars books now that I think about it, but I'd like to see her on the main Star Wars book because she clearly knows how to write these characters. So, also, I want to talk about the art real quick. The artwork in here is fantastic, especially when we do the space scenes. Just like look at that. Mark Brooks's artwork is just spectacular in here. It really does fit for a spacefaring journey, which the vast majority of this story is. I really thought that Mark Brooks and Lou and Brooks were a star-studded team for this miniseries, and it's really like, again, why wasn't the movie this? This should have been the movie, not a stupid origin story. This. I mean, I get it, you can't really have... But I understand, you can't have Harrison Ford, playing young Han Solo, and he didn't want to do the role that often, so... But you could have taken, elements of this story and put it in the movie instead of doing a stupid origin story. You could have had it that Han is, Han joins this race and he's roped into this rebellion thing and he's like, I don't want to do this. And that's that could be why he doesn't want to join the rebellion at the beginning of New Hope, because he's like, I got manipulated into doing this bullshit the first time around, so I don't want to do this. So you could have done that. That could have been but this works on so many levels. I also, side note, love the character, one of the alien characters here named Luan Ran. I know I'm mispronouncing that name, but it's a hard name to pronounce. Here, I'll show you a picture of her. She's like this, the oldest racer in this Dragon Void race, and essentially she's the last of her kind, and she's the she's kind of I guess you could say the Kyle Busch, if you want to go by NASCAR races. She's like the Kyle Busch of this race. See, that blue thing is her right there, and she's really cool. She's very wise. She's this very wise character, this very kind character, and likes to and mentors Han a few times. She's a great addition, and I love the story of how that plays out with her. So yeah. Once again, if you're looking for fun Star Wars books, I highly recommend Han Solo. This was an absolute blast to watch. Even Comic Vine says this is the Solo comic Han and Star Wars fans deserve. What more can I say? So you guys tell me in the comments below if you've read Star Wars Han Solo. What did you guys think of it? Just comment below, let me know. And once again, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.